Alright, welcome back everyone, Zaf here, where we do cover one of the most mid hunters to date. Yes, that's right. Based on our testing, Akari seems like one of those hunters where we can skip. It's been a while since we had one of those units, but even though she's dripped out, her damage results based on her hunter buffs are not drippy at all. I can't believe I said that. Someone cut that out. That was ridiculous. But overall, I think if you're on the fence about summoning for Akari, watch this video. We did test her out, and the results are pretty strange. We did notice damage gains, but still, Akari does seem like one of our weaker supports to date. Surprisingly, brand new, dedicated Light Hunter wasn't that appealing. She wasn't bright enough to give us a ray of hope. She just gave us a lot of gloom because, yeah, she wasn't that great. But don't get me wrong, she does have some good effects. They did provide us, gains in some regard, but overall, she was very comparable with our current hunters, that being our current sport hunters like Mei Lin, we had Isla, we also had hunters like Min, all perform very similarly, but she did have just a slight edge, but we did expect more based on her passives. But let me cover our results. We spent hours and hours testing her out. It was a good time, minus the fact that it cost us 1,000 summons to get her all the way to A10. One of our most expensive summons to date. That was an awful experience, so please make sure, drop a like and subscribe. That way our suffering doesn't go to waste, and also don't forget to support us on ML's free supporter program. That way I can send you codes directly to you. So here's our testing. I do want to cover it with you. We test her out on the guild boss, very important because we do want her stacking effects to apply. With POD, that means power destruction, she can't really apply her passives constantly, so that is an issue. That's why the guild boss is better for doing this test. So here's a test on Akari. We didn't put Cha on our team because with Cha, Akari isn't really buffing her. She does provide a light damage bonus, but if we go to her passives, you can see she doesn't have any attack-related bonuses. She does have some offensive ones, but no attack. That's why she's better suited for Go and Thomas Andre. That is who she was built for, to buff mainly Thomas Andre, of course. But overall, still very weak, even though she's a light, dedicated support. But let's go over the numbers. That's where the important figures are. So without Akari in our team, Thomas Andre dealt 317 million damage. Once we added her in, you can see there was no result being displayed. A0 was basically useless, and if we go down here, A1, we did notice, a bit of a gain, like 10% give or take, but still, that could be in the margin of error. Overall, not a noticeable gain. Thomas Andre did perform slightly more, but still, nothing to really make you summon for, at least at the A1 mark, which is already a pretty big investment. If we go down here, A3, this is where the damage gains did come in. You can see, from 350 million all the way down to 531, 456, and 411. Not the biggest gains though, which is kind of a shock still. As you can see, if we go all the way down to A3 bonus, it should be way more, giving us a 20% light damage taken bonus. That should have netted us even more gains in my opinion, but we did notice a little bit of a damage increase, but still not enough. Again, usually with supports, we do see more numbers like this, going from 350 to 513, but this was just a very good run. As you can see, Go's number went up too, but these two numbers are more realistic, 456 and 411, so around the 450 average mark, a little bit of a bump, 30%, but it's strange that it wasn't more, and it's strange how the consistency wasn't there as well. Well, let's keep going. Let's go to A4. You can see 463, 471, pretty similar to the A3 mark. Actually a bit too similar, which is kind of shocking. And as we go down, we can see A5, she did get some damage gains. So 591, 553, but the issue is, when we start comparing her to other supports, she basically performed the same, if not similar. You can see we have Mei Lin, for example, 502, 491, very close to her figures, even when Mei Lin is not built to technically support our light units. She's built for, more global general use, but that's the issue. Shouldn't Akari be performing way better, giving us better buffs to our team? Very strange. Overall, very comparable. Min didn't perform too similar, bringing Thomas Andre to 420, but again, very close number amounts. So I would say, if you're on the fence about summoning for her, I don't know if she's necessarily worth the summons. For me, A10, 1,000 summons, yeah, I'm not too sure about that right now. Maybe, potentially, her kit isn't being applied as intended, because if we go to her effects here, if we go down, it's a very interesting wording here. With Brilliance, increases a user's damage dealt by 16%. The user. Does that mean all our team members? The passive being applied, or is it just Akari? That would be pretty strange. It could just be a translation issue, not too sure. But again, Akari isn't performing how we expected her to basically run. She has a giant axe, no damage being dealt from her, and no real buffs being applied. But we can note that we did have some damage gains, of course. But still, I mean, when we compare her to other supports, like look, a good one for Isla, 529, giving us a better result than basically what Akari got. Pretty close to it. But again, Isla wasn't built to buff Thomas or Go. Very, very strange results. So that's why I think, honestly, Akari is one of those units that we can skip. It's just not results we expected. I would say if you're on the fence about summoning for her, just wait. She doesn't seem to be a unit we're really rushing to summon for. Let me know in the comments what you think. But overall, right now, based on these results, yeah, I don't see a reason to summon for her. Maybe later on, she could become viable if the devs do provide a little bit of buff for her. But right now, yeah, I just don't see the value. But if you do summon for her and you want to build her properly, well, we did test out these sets for her. We tried the 1-kill set, not really good result there. We went with Guardian and Sylph's Blessing, that worked really well. And with Malin having the same set, she did perform better, but these results are trivial. As you can see up here, the results were similar, so basically margin of error. It could have just been a better run, but overall, again, when it comes to Akari's performance, just not really meeting the punch. You can see Go, consistent results all the way through. So you can say Thomas Hunter's results here were basically based off better runs being applied for him, with Go being very consistent all the way through. So very, very strange overall. But when it comes to artifact sets, if we jump in, I would say the number one set to run on her would be the Guardian set. This effect will always apply a 10% damage gain, better than running a 4-set Blessing set, because the Blessing set isn't really comparable at the 4-set mark, of course, only giving us a 10% damage gain, lasting for 10 seconds, but a 25-second cooldown, not the best overall. That's why I do think running the Guardian set and Sylph's Blessing would be way better. Sylph's Blessing, remember, is actually not too bad, only if we do have the elemental type advantage, otherwise Blessing set would be better. And with Akari, we do spam her QT skills quite often. She does give us a stacking effect, even though we're not really seeing the damage gains from her effects right now. But still, her QT skill, we are using it often, unlike other support units. So that's why Sylph's Blessing does really work out for her. If I show you right here, let's go to her QT. If I can find her QT really quick, boom, her QT right here. Divine Flame, increase the target slight damage taken by 1%, stack it up to 10 times, and works with other passives. So overall, her QT skill we use. That's why Sylph's Blessing does work very well when it comes to Akari. But overall, right now, I do think Akari is a skippable unit. At least don't summon for it right now. Not worth the summons. If you have other supports like Malin, if you have other supports like Isla, even Min, she's just not really meeting the punch. Just not a unit I see us using as much as we would with other units we have. I mean, you could say her sports skill is good, which is, it's fine. If we look at her sports skill right here, Brilliance being applied, 8% crit rate, and damage increase to our basic skills and ultimate skills. But again, we are getting it buffed with the A5 bonus if you summon her all the way up. A5 giving us 16% for each. It's good, but Malin is pretty similar, giving us a 16% attack bonus, and then she has passives here as well. So overall, even that front, very comparable. Malin's weapon, for example, though, is technically better, giving us a buff, applying to any team member. And remember, when it comes to Akari, her weapon is actually kind of mid. It's not the greatest. When the Echo Flight effect is activated on light team members, increases light damage of all of them by 8%. So not similar at all to hunters like Malin, to hunters like Min, where they do provide more global related buffs when it comes to her weapons and overall skills. So that's why right now Akari does not get my Sylph approval. I don't think she's summoned for her. She's just not up to par for our current hunters. She's really missing that juice we need to make her a viable hunter. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop your like. Make sure to let me know what you plan on doing. Are you going to skip her, which I do recommend, or are you going to wait to see if she gets adjusted? I think wait. Usually when hunters are this bad, they do get adjusted pretty quickly. We'll see. But right now, she's just not meeting the cut. So don't forget to subscribe, support us, and stay tuned for my SLA content. That way you know exactly what to do with your very precious rate of tickets, and you don't waste your summons because we spent a lot for her.